dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Good evening and thanks for joining us again. I'm Macy Marie. Last week, a tree fell into the cab of an excavator, killing Danny Taylor. Taylor played many roles like Pike County Sheriff's deputy and working for the road department. WYMT's Marianne Fletcher talked to his pastor, who says Danny died doing what he loved, working.
Losing someone is never easy.
I lost a good man, good family man.
Ray Sayers knows all too well the gut-wrenching feeling.
I've lost a son and lost my wife about a year ago.
Many in Pike County feel the same way after Danny Taylor died last week after a tree fell on the cab of an excavator while working on a job site. This is video just days before the accident.
I was very shocked and very hurt.
Ray was his pastor at the Church of God on Lick Creek Road.
I baptized him probably about 12, 15 years ago.
Ray knew Danny as a child and says he was always a hard worker.
He's worked 2 or 3 different jobs all at the same time.
Between his job as a Pike County Sheriff's deputy to a member of the road department.
He worked a lot.
And while he may never pick up a hard hat or his badge again,
Danny hardly ever met a stranger.
Many will never forget the man they call Super Trucker.
We loved him, and we will miss him very much.
In Pike County, Marianne Fletcher, WYMT Mountain News.
Visitation for Danny Taylor will be tomorrow at 6 in the Lucas & Son Funeral Home, a church service at 7 on Wednesday, and his funeral will be held Thursday at 2 p.m. 2 teenage girls hit by a train late last night in Louisville. One of them was killed. Police found them around 9:30 last night. One was dead while the other was rushed to the hospital in serious condition. Police say the train was from Norfolk Southern. Meanwhile, in Tennessee, 3 people, including 2 teenagers, were killed in an ATV wreck yesterday. Officials in Campbell County, Tennessee, say 1 other person was flown to a hospital. The 4 apparently drove off a 100-foot cliff. Authorities say the 4 were originally from North Carolina and were vacationing in the area for Memorial Day weekend. A Floyd County post office burned down this morning. The Weeksbury post office caught fire in the early hours of the morning and was destroyed. Post office officials did not say what caused the fire. Beginning tomorrow, people who used to get their mail from the Weeksbury post office can now get their mail services from the Melvin post office. And if you think you lost mail in that fire, contact the postmaster. That number's on your screen at 606-377-6038. A Laurel County woman is behind bars after deputies say she drank a pint of brandy and wrecked a car, all with an 11-year-old inside. Deputies with the Laurel County Sheriff's Office say this woman, 42-year-old Robin Sizemore, now faces multiple charges, including wanton endangerment. Nobody was injured in that crash, but police say they could smell the alcohol on her breath. The child was taken to other family members by social services. At a time when we continue to lose 30 people a week in Kentucky from the drug epidemic, it may make some people wonder if going after the pharmaceutical companies is even worth it. Kentucky's Attorney General has filed 9 lawsuits against multiple drug companies. Professor Richard Osnes says some estimates to fix the drug problem amounts to $1.5 trillion. He says a drug company is not going to pay out anything like that. So far, he says the settlements have been relatively low.
I'm inclined to be a little skeptical. The reason being that what lawsuits are designed to do and what they generally do is they transfer money. And that money may be used to...
Tonight at 11, find out where Kentucky ranks when it comes to the number of lawsuits that have been filed against drug companies. People recovering from addiction often say they're learning to love themselves. But what happens when you add caring for another person into that recovery process? At Karen's Place in Louisa, there's a group of women who are learning to do just that. I sat down with some new mothers who say they're overcoming addiction and fear for their children. The birth of a child is a time of joy and celebration.
This is my second. I love it. I really do. Every day, just keep getting stronger bond.
And the women at Karen's Place Maternity Center in Louisa each overcame hard times before finding those moments of happiness with their little ones.
You go downhill fast. It's like a downward spiral.
Chelsea Pinn's story is a familiar one inside this house. She struggled with addiction for years, and in the midst of that, she found out she was pregnant.
There's always second chances.
That second chance, here, surrounded by supportive soon-to-be mothers facing the same issues.
They just help you love yourself again.
Learning to love herself again,
I want to be the best mom I can be.
her children, the reason. We'll have much more on this story tonight at 11 as I talk to another mom at Karen's Place and take a deeper look into what the center does to help women.
Overall, it's been another beautiful day here in the mountains. We've seen a few more clouds today, but hopefully that kept it just a little bit cooler. You'll notice as we take a look at a few of those cameras, US 119, US 23 in Jenkins, where they have been dry throughout the day. And as we look over into Jackson right now, 79 degrees, not that bad, but with that dew point into the upper 60s, putting those feel-like temperatures into the lower 80s. So it is feeling just a little bit muggy out there, and temperatures all across the area. You'll notice those low to mid 80s down into the Cumberland Valley, while the Big Sandy's into the upper 70s. A little bit cooler today due to that rain we saw last night, but those dew points, they're still into the upper 60s to lower 70s, so it's very uncomfortable outside. Oppressive dew point temperatures, so probably making it feel just a few degrees warmer than it actually is. Overall though, pinpoint Doppler showing a clean sweep. We've only seen maybe a stray chance here and there, but overall we have been dry throughout the day, and really as we head into the next few days, we'll see the drier pattern continue with stray rain chances on and off. Warmer temperatures also continue, along with by the end of the work week, looks like those temperatures become a little bit more on the mild side. I'll have a look at that full forecast coming up in just a few short minutes. Macy.
All right, thank you, Paige. In 1868, a group of women set out to decorate the graves of the brave men who fought and died in the American Civil War. And in 1966, President Lyndon B. Johnson made it official. Memorial Day is a national U.S. holiday designed to honor the men and now women who laid their lives on the line for us. WYMT's Will Puckett was at a ceremony in Hazard today, and he has more.
We want everybody to come out and let them know, first and most, the families are not alone in their mourning, and that we will never forget their fallen.
As taps echoed into the Hazard air, names were read off a list marking the fallen who once walked through the halls of the Eastern Kentucky Veterans Center.
Pay honor and respect. We had 29 men and women that had passed away over the last year, and each year we pay a reflection, take a moment of silence, and pay tribute.
A national holiday for more than 50 years, Memorial Day allows us to take a step back and remember those who gave their all.
Just say hi, be a friend. A lot of the people with PTS, that's what they need, is just to be accepted for who they are.
As a generation prepares to move on, history goes with it. But it's ceremonies like Mondays that help preserve that history.
If somebody in the community wants to help, have them come up here to East Kentucky Veterans Center and give about 20 minutes of their time. Now that sounds bad, but the last time I gave a man 20 minutes of my time, I learned more of what to do as a service officer.
Because preserving our history is the only way that the lives given never go forgotten. In Hazard, Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
The Veterans Center read off all 29 men and women who died since last Memorial Day. The local Veterans Center in Hazard received an exciting surprise today also. Similar cars and trucks from the show Smokey the Bandit stopped at the East Kentucky Veterans Center to give the community a taste of some TV history. Along with the well-known Bandit cars, they also brought Snowman's 18-wheeler by for everyone to enjoy.
Well, we were very blessed in the sense that Tyler Hamburg reached out to the Hazard Tourism and offered his services for free to come out here and allow the veterans to meet the community, have a great time. He showed up with the Snowman's 18 rig run, Bandits, got 20-something Bandit cars, Trans Ams.
To learn more about volunteering at the Veterans Center, you can head over to our website, WYMT.com. An Eastern Kentucky National Guardsman credits his upbringing for the honor he received last year. Sergeant Jordy Brewer is a Harlan County native and a former U-Pike football player. He was the first Kentuckian to win the National Guard Best Warrior competition back in 2018. Governor Mount Bevin posted a video recognizing Sergeant Brewer yesterday. An annual flag dedication concluded a weekend of Memorial Day services for Thacker Memorial in Pike County. Johns Creek Disabled American Veterans Chapter 166 helped replace the Annie East Cemetery flag with a new one. Then a 21-gun salute fired off into the sky after the new flag hit the top of the pole. Larry Thacker says it's important for kids to see these events because teaching them about the reason for Memorial Day is important.
Memorial Day is for the deceased veterans, and so we need to always remember that, and we need to educate our children what this day is, how special a day it is.
The dedication was held after a Primitive Baptist Church service. Officials say every year this Disabled American Veterans Chapter performs a service in the proper way. Kentucky Senator and Majority Leader Mitch McConnell was home this Memorial Day taking part in a Veterans of Foreign War remembrance ceremony at Cave Hill Cemetery in Louisville. The senator's father, who volunteered for service in World War II after the Battle of the Bulge, is buried at Cave Hill. McConnell says he has wonderful letters that his father sent to his mother during that time. He thanked all those who served, especially those who did not come back.
Tom Brokaw called World War II the greatest generation. And then there was Korea and Vietnam and the Persian Gulf War and the war against terror. We honor all of these veterans who've made such an extraordinary contribution to our country.
In a Facebook post, McConnell said Americans, quote, take time out of our ordinary routines and busy lives to remember the men and women who paid the ultimate sacrifice for the security of our nation and the liberty we cherish. And more than 100 people came out to the Veterans Cemetery over in Hyden to pay their respects to the men and women who served our country. WYMT's reporter Lauren McCourt talked with locals who say today hits home for many in Leslie County.
On Memorial Day, we remember those who paid the ultimate price.
It means everything.
It's pretty powerful.
Leslie County is a very patriotic community.
The ones who gave their lives to protect our freedom.
Just looking back at all the freedoms that we enjoy on a day-to-day basis and the cost of those freedoms and all that was sacrificed to be given, the freedoms that we do have. And
so I think it's a time that we honor the people that did give up their lives for this great country.
And for many in Leslie County, this day hits close to home.
Willie Sandlin was from here, our native son. He's buried here now. And he was in the World War I. He was actually Kentucky's answer to Sergeant York.
This cemetery is not only resting place to Sergeant Sandlin, but to many local veterans.
We're very proud of this cemetery and proud that we've chosen to be the location.
Not only Sergeant Sandlin is buried here, but roughly 100 feet away from him is my brother.
So on Memorial Day, we honor the ones who gave their lives and their loved ones who had to say goodbye too soon.
They suffer as much as the veterans do.
In Leslie County, Lauren McCourt, WYMT Mountain News.
Order, form!
Sergeant Willie Sandlin was the only Kentuckian to receive the Congressional Medal of Honor in World War I.
And those hot and humid conditions continue really over the next 3 days, along with a few scattered rain chances as well. I'll have a look at that full forecast coming up in just a few short minutes.